Chosen One, stop whatever you're doing right now. I know you're listening to this while doing something else. Washing dishes, on the bus, lying in bed at 2 in the morning with your phone inches from your face. Doesn't matter. Stop. Give me your full attention for a second, because what I'm about to tell you today is not the kind of thing you hear distracted and understand. I need you to look at your right hand right now. Just look at it. Notice the lines, the marks, the calluses if you have them, the scars if you have them. That hand has held a lot of heavy things in this life. It's punched walls out of rage. It's wiped tears when nobody was watching. It's clenched into a fist when the world gave you every reason to quit. Keep that image in your mind, because at the end of this video, I'm going to reveal what that hand truly means in the spiritual realm. And when you know, you'll never look at it the same way again. Now listen to me carefully. There are things happening behind the scenes of creation that no church tells you, that no preacher talks about on Sunday, that no theology book describes, because these things operate on a level so far above conventional religious understanding that anyone who tries to explain them gets called crazy. But I'm not afraid of being called crazy. I'm afraid of you dying without knowing the truth. And the truth is this: Archangel Michael, the most powerful being in the entire celestial hierarchy, the warrior who existed before time had a name, who never once in his entire eternal existence showed a single emotion, laughed for the first time in eternity. A real laugh, deep, echoing through dimensions your eyes can't reach. And the reason for that laugh was you. Not an improved version of you. Not the future you when everything's figured out. Not the perfect you that religion says you need to be to deserve heaven's attention. You, the one listening right now, with all your cracks, all your mistakes, all the weight you carry without telling anyone. And what you did to cause that laugh is so absurdly simple that if I told you now, you wouldn't believe it. So first I need to show you what this being really is, so that when I reveal the reason, the impact hits exactly the way it needs to. Subscribe to this channel right now and hit the notification bell, because what you're about to hear in the next few minutes doesn't get repeated anywhere else. If you're not subscribed yet, this video is the sign you've been asking for to do it. Write 777 in the comments if something inside you just confirmed that this video didn't appear on your screen by accident. And stay until the end, because the heaviest revelation isn't at the beginning. It's waiting for you at the very end, like a bomb that detonates in silence. Now I need to destroy an image you've been sold your entire life. Take that picture you have of Archangel Michael, that religious postcard, the little saint with white wings and a serene face that your grandmother hung behind the door, the plaster statue on a shelf with a candle next to it, that harmless, delicate, almost decorative being that popular religion turned into a spiritual ornament. Throw it away. Now, because that's not Michael. That's a cartoon religion created to domesticate something that cannot be domesticated. Michael is the oldest and most devastating being in the entire celestial hierarchy. A warrior forged before the universe had form, before light existed to separate from darkness. His name in Hebrew is a question that functions as a declaration of war. Who is like God? It's not a philosophical reflection to debate over coffee. It's the battle cry that echoes before entire armies of darkness cease to exist. The book of Daniel calls him the Great Prince, not just another angel among millions. The Great Prince, the one with authority over all others, the one who, when he appears, even the six-winged seraphim stop what they're doing and make room. And in Revelation chapter 12, verse 7, there's a record of war in heaven itself. Michael and his angels against the dragon and his forces. This isn't figurative language. It's the record of cosmic combat where Michael faced the most powerful being who ever rebelled against the Creator, and won, without stepping back, without hesitating, without a single expression changing on his face. Because this is what you need to understand about this being. In the entire span of his existence, in all the millennia of uninterrupted war, of battles that last what would be millions of years to us, Michael never showed an emotion. Not one. Zero. Not because he was incapable of feeling, but because nothing in all of creation was enough to break the composure of a warrior of this caliber. Civilizations were born and turned to dust before his eyes. Empires that dominated entire continents were razed and destroyed while he watched. Billions of human beings lived and died under his gaze, and his face didn't change, not once, until you did something. The Apostle Paul wrote something in 1 Corinthians chapter 4, verse 9, that most believers read and pass over without noticing the bomb hidden there. He said, "We have become a spectacle to the whole universe, to angels and to human beings alike." Spectacle, not object of distant observation. Spectacle. The original word in Greek is theatron, where the word theater comes from. Paul is saying that celestial beings watch you, like an audience watching a story unfold in real time, with real attention, with genuine emotional investment in what's going to happen to you. Have you ever felt like something was watching you when you were completely alone? Not in a threatening way, something different, as if invisible eyes were there, attentive, waiting to see what decision you would make. That wasn't paranoia. That was exactly what Paul described. You are the protagonist of a story being followed with an intensity your brain can't comprehend. And the letter to the Hebrews confirms this. Chapter 1, verse 14. Angels are ministering spirits sent to serve those who will inherit salvation. Sent, not randomly assigned. Sent, with a defined mission, with calculated purpose, with direct orders from the throne. Michael doesn't watch over you because he has nothing better to do. He observes you because you are his personal mission. You were placed under his protection not by cosmic accident but by decree of the Creator. Every morning you open your eyes, he's already positioned. Every night you close them, he stands guard. Every second of your life has been observed and protected by the most powerful warrior in existence. Accidents you never imagined were diverted before they arrived. Doors that would have destroyed you were closed without you knowing they existed. People who would have drowned you were removed from your path. All of it was Michael, in silence, without credit, without applause, and in all that time protecting you, fighting for you in dimensions your eyes can't reach. He never showed emotion. He fulfilled, he protected, he fought, with the stone face of an eternal warrior, until something inside you caused what millions of years of cosmic war never could. But before I reveal what it was, I need to rip out a lie planted so deep inside your head that you don't even recognize it as a lie. You mistake it for being realistic. The lie is this, that you're not special enough for heaven to truly care about you, that you're just one among billions, that your problems are small compared to the world's tragedies, that your internal struggles are insignificant on the scale of the universe. You know where that lie comes from? From the same being Michael defeated in that war in Revelation. Because if you truly knew what you are, you'd be so dangerous to darkness that they couldn't even get close. That's why they invest so heavily in making you feel small. Because a chosen one who knows their identity is a weapon with no possible defense. Now I want you to feel what I'm about to say, not process it with your head. Feel it in your body. There were nights, and you know exactly which ones, when you lay in bed with a weight on your chest that had no medical explanation. It wasn't exactly sadness. It wasn't anxiety with a name. It was something deeper, as if your soul was carrying something your mind couldn't put into words. Throat locked like a knot had permanently installed itself there. Eyes burning but no tears because you'd already learned to swallow the cry before it fell. Hands cold for no reason. That emptiness in the middle of your chest that wasn't hunger, wasn't illness, was something that has no name in any language. And on those nights maybe you whispered something. Not a beautiful prayer with rehearsed words, something raw, something desperate, something so honest it embarrassed you to have said it. Something like, "Are you there? Do you hear me? Is there anyone in this entire universe who cares that I exist?" And the silence that came after seemed to confirm the worst, because you expected a voice, a sign, thunder, something dramatic, and nothing came. Just silence, just darkness, just you in that room with your weight and your unanswered question. But I need to correct something your mind interpreted completely backwards. The silence didn't mean absence. It meant proximity. Whoever was listening was too close to need to shout. Was there, in that room, in that same darkness, hearing every word that came out of your broken mouth with an attention no human being has ever given you. Michael didn't respond with an audible voice because warriors at his level don't operate with words. They operate with presence, with protection so silent you only notice when you pay attention to the silence itself. Remember how after those nights, the next day something small but surgical went right? A message that arrived at the exact moment. A door that opened without you pushing. A strange peace that appeared out of nowhere and replaced the anguish as if someone had ripped it from your chest. That wasn't coincidence, that was the answer. It came in silence because whoever sent it is a soldier, not a speaker. And soldiers don't give speeches, they act. Now I need to take you to the heart of this story. There was a guardian who served the king since before the concept of time was invented. This guardian was the strongest in the kingdom, the most feared, the most relentless. There was no war he hadn't won, no enemy who had made him take a single step back. His face was made of silence, not coldness. Weight, the weight of a responsibility so immense that lightness simply had no place in his existence. His eyes had seen everything there was to see. His sword had pierced things that have no name. When he entered a room, allies and enemies alike lowered their gaze. No one had ever seen him smile. Never. In the entire span of an existence with no beginning that can be measured. At a certain moment, the king called him and gave him a mission different from all the others. It wasn't to defeat an army. It wasn't to conquer territory. It was to take care of someone, a young one. Ordinary in the eyes of the kingdom, no title, no important family name, no visible ability that would justify maximum level protection. Someone the rest of the court didn't even notice when they walked by. "Take care of this one," said the king with a certainty that admitted no questioning. "This one is worth infinitely more than anyone can see right now." The guardian didn't ask why. It wasn't in his nature to question. It was in his nature to fulfill. And he began to observe. He watched the young one stumble over everything, fall into the most predictable mistakes, trust the wrong people, walk straight into dangers that anyone with experience would have avoided. He saw the world ignore them with casual cruelty, the kind that hurts more than hatred because it doesn't even bother to hate. It just pretends you don't exist. He saw that people who should have loved them turn their backs. He saw them cry alone in the darkness of their small room, thinking no one in the universe was paying attention. And the guardian protected in silence, unseen, unrecognized, deflecting dangers the young one never knew existed, closing doors that would have led to complete destruction, opening paths the young one thought were luck but were calculated strategy. Countless years passed. The young one didn't know they were being watched, didn't know they were being protected, had no idea that the most feared warrior in the entire kingdom had his eyes permanently fixed on every stumbling step they took. The guardian saw everything, the failures, the relapses, the times the young one did exactly the opposite of what would be good for them, the nights when darkness seemed to advance, the mornings when they got up with empty eyes, no will to continue but continuing anyway, out of pure stubbornness. And then came an ordinary day, nothing special on the calendar. The young one was alone, destroyed by exhaustion to the bone, defeated by a life that seemed to have a hobby of bringing them to their knees. Sitting on the floor of their small room with nothing but empty hands, a cracked heart, and a list of failures that weighed more than their entire body. They had every reason in the world to cry, to scream, to curse the heavens, to give up for good. And in this moment of total defeat, with no rational explanation, no logical reason, the young one laughed. Not from joy, not from madness. Laughed at themselves, at the absurdity of the situation, at how ridiculous it was to be there, on the floor with empty hands and the whole world against them, after having tried so many times they'd lost count. A laugh that didn't come from the mouth. It came from the depths of the soul, like an act of pure rebellion against everything trying to annihilate them, like a declaration of war disguised as a burst of laughter, as if saying, "Is this the best you've got? Your entire arsenal, all your darkness, everything you've thrown at me, and this is it? Because I'm still here. Broken, yes. Exhausted, yes. But here." And the guardian, who had watched empires fall without blinking, who had held his sword against infinite armies without his pulse trembling, who had seen the birth and death of stars with indifference, laughed, for the first time in his entire eternal existence, not because the young one was funny, but because in that act of laughing on the floor of their own defeat, the young one demonstrated something the guardian had searched for in millions of battles without ever finding. That true strength isn't measured in victory. It's measured in the ability to laugh when everything says you should be destroyed. And the king, who sees absolutely everything, heard the laughter of his invincible warrior echo for the first time, and smiled, and said, "Now this one is ready for what I prepared for them. This story is yours. The guardian is Michael. The young one is you. And the king is the one who created us. And now I need to show you why your laugh had so much power. Genuine laughter is one of the highest spiritual frequencies a human being is capable of emitting. Psalm 126 says this clearly, Then our mouths were filled with laughter, and our tongues with songs of joy. Then it was said among the nations, "The Lord has done great things for them." Look at the sequence. First the laughter. Then the nations recognize what God did, not the other way around. The laughter didn't come after the blessing as celebration. The laughter preceded the public recognition of the blessing. It was the signal. It was the frequency that activated the next phase. Your ability to laugh in the middle of chaos isn't a sign of immaturity. It's a prophetic sign. It's your spirit declaring victory before your eyes confirm it. And when Michael heard you laugh in your worst moment, it wasn't your humor that impacted him. It was your faith, disguised as a burst of laughter, vibrating at a frequency that crossed entire dimensions. Because laughing when everything is fine is easy. Anyone can do that. But laughing when you're on the ground, without resources, without visible support, without a single logical reason for your mouth to curve upward, that requires a connection to the invisible so deep that only a genuine chosen one can sustain it. And Michael recognized that instantly, because he spends eons protecting people who cry, who beg, who despair. He's seen human pain in every possible form, but a human being who laughs in the face of everything trying to destroy them, that he had never witnessed in all of existence. For those who want to go deeper into the spiritual relationship between angels and the chosen, there's exclusive material in the description and pinned comment. Now Zephaniah chapter 3 verse 17. "The Lord your God is with you, the mighty warrior who saves. He will take great delight in you. In his love he will no longer rebuke you, but will rejoice over you with singing." God, rejoicing over you with singing. And if the creator of the universe sings because of you, do you think the angels stay silent? Michael's laugh wasn't an isolated anomaly. It was a response, the reaction of a celestial being who finally witnessed something that justified every battle fought throughout his entire existence. You were that justification. But if I stopped here, you'd leave thinking the laugh was something symbolic, and you'd only be understanding the surface. Because Michael's laugh wasn't a gesture. It was a signal, an activation, an event with real consequences that are already operating in your life. When an archangel of Michael's caliber expresses emotion for the first time in all of existence, that's not a minor event. That's a cosmic event, something that reverberates in every dimension simultaneously. Think about the scale. Michael faced the original adversary himself without changing expression, sustained wars lasting entire ages with an unshakable face, and you achieved what none of that could. Do you understand the dimension of what this reveals about who you really are? If the most brutal war in the universe couldn't pull an emotion from him and your laugh did, then you carry inside you something more impactful than cosmic war itself. And that is exactly what darkness doesn't want you to discover. 3 things happened in the spiritual realm when Michael's laugh echoed. The first, your level of protection didn't increase. It changed in nature. Before you were a military mission, an assignment. Now you're something personal. The difference between protection by duty and protection by bond is like the difference between a hired security guard and an older brother protecting family. The guard clocks out and goes home. The brother has no shift, no limit. If lately you've noticed chronic problems dissolving without your intervention, if toxic people distance themselves without you confronting them, if impossible situations resolved themselves, now you know why. The level of protection changed. The second consequence your spiritual field was marked was when a high-ranking celestial being expresses emotion in direct connection with you, your energy field becomes impregnated with their frequency. Like a signature, an invisible mark that identifies you in the spiritual world as someone under superior level protection. And the forces of darkness detect this mark. They know what it means. They know what happens to whoever attacks someone marked by an archangel with personal reasons to protect. This explains something you've probably noticed, that in recent times, the evil operating near your life started retreating without you doing anything special. The third consequence is the most important. Your destiny was accelerated. In the spiritual system, when heaven celebrates something about your life, timelines compress, doors programmed to open in years open in weeks. Connections from your future move forward to your present. I'm not talking about magic. I'm talking about real movements you've probably already started noticing. Mental clarity that appeared as if someone cleaned a foggy window. Ideas that wake you at 2 in the morning with precision. Apparently random encounters with people who say exactly the phrase you needed to hear. This is active acceleration. Your timeline being compressed because the signal was given. This chosen one is ready. Now I need to talk about David. 2 Samuel chapter 6. David brings the ark to Jerusalem, the most solemn moment in Israel's history, and David danced. The text says he danced before the Lord with all his might, a king leaping, spinning, shouting with joy like a child who doesn't know shame. And his wife, Michal, watched from the window, and the text says she despised him in her heart. You know what Michal represents? Every person who told you that you're too much, too intense, too loud, too emotional. Every voice that told you to grow up when what they really meant was dim yourself. Michal watched from the window, from the safe distance of someone who doesn't have the courage to live with intensity, and therefore needs to judge those who do, because your fire exposes her coldness. And what happened to Michal? She had no children until she died. Total barrenness. Natural consequence of despising the genuine expression of someone who truly loves. You are David, dancing with all your might. And Michal didn't laugh because you were perfect. He laughed because you were real, in a world where everyone performs, where every person wears a social mask, where maturity became a synonym for dying inside. You kept being you, imperfect, intense, completely authentic, and that to a being who has observed millions of humans pretending for entire millennia was so unexpected that the only possible response was to laugh. The book of Job reveals something that seals everything. In chapter 1, verse 8, God is in the midst of celestial beings, and without anyone asking, he interrupts everything to say, "Have you considered my servant Job? There is no one on earth like him. This is a father who can't contain himself, who needs everyone to know, who pulls out a photo of his child in the middle of a meeting and makes everyone look. And if God did that with Job, what makes you think he didn't do the same thing with you? What makes you think that at some moment while you were fighting alone, while you fell and got up without applause, the Creator didn't look at Michal and say, 'You see that one? Look what they do with the little they have. Look at that sacred stubbornness. There's no one else like them.' And Michal looked, and finally, after an eternity of wars that couldn't move him, laughed. Because of you. But I need to warn you about something. After hearing all this, you're going to feel something expanding inside you. A certainty that didn't exist before. And in the next hours or days, a situation will arrive designed to rip away exactly what you just received. It might come disguised as a fight that escalates for no reason. A painful memory that resurfaces out of nowhere. A person from your past who reappears to drag you back into a cycle you thought you'd overcome. And the voice of doubt will whisper, "See? Nothing changes. You're the same as always." When that arrives, and it will arrive, because it's the standard response of darkness to every spiritual advance, I need you to do just one thing. Laugh. Not a forced chuckle. When doubt hits you, when darkness tries to convince you that you're nobody special, laugh. The same rebellious laugh. The same act of holy war disguised as a burst of laughter. Because that laugh is your most lethal weapon. It's what broke the composure of an eternal warrior. And if it broke that, it can destroy any attack they fabricate against you. Remember what I asked you at the beginning? To look at your right hand. That hand isn't just flesh and bone. In the spiritual world, it carries the mark of everything you held without letting go. Of every time you clenched your fist to hold yourself upright when everything pushed you toward the ground. Every line is a map of your resistance. Every callus is proof that you worked when nobody saw. Every scar is the seal of a battle you won alone, without an audience, without a medal. And at this moment, while you were looking at your own hand at the beginning of this video, Michal was looking too, at the same hand, at the same time, and he saw what you cannot see. That this hand you think is ordinary is the hand that held what the entire universe tried to rip away from you. Your faith, your essence, your sacred stubbornness to keep being who you are when the world screamed for you to be someone else. And an eternal warrior who destroyed empires without blinking looked at that hand and thought, "That hand is stronger than my sword," because his sword destroys enemies, but your hand does something no celestial weapon can. It holds, it endures, it doesn't let go, even when it would hurt less to release. For those who want to go deeper into the spiritual principles operating in the lives of the chosen, there's exclusive material in the description and pinned comment. It costs less than a pizza, and comes with a complete audiobook as a special bonus. If everything you heard echoed in your spirit, write 777 in the comments to confirm that now you understand why heaven laughs every time it sees you standing. Subscribe and turn on all notifications so you don't miss the next revelations. Share this video with someone who urgently needs to know that heaven doesn't observe with disappointment. It observes with a smile they caused without knowing. And click on the video appearing on your screen right now to discover what other signal heaven is sending to the chosen ones. Together we are stronger.